guys, this is another episode in the Allan's Answers podcast, and what I'm trying to do is kind of get like basically a daily episode done of this kind of philosophy podcast slash Allan's Answers kind of thing, so I can constantly like provide you guys with new content and stuff like that. And just like what I said before with my fun size philosophy, kind of wanted to just create consistency, and just constantly come up with new and creative content in order to get you guys more involved or just to watch and do all that good stuff. So hopefully that'll let me to build a bigger audience. But like I said, with creativity, here's another question from Yahoo Answers, which the philosophy, which you've seen Tommy and I answer questions on this before. And this question comes from Words of Wisdom, and he asks, what do you believe is the better trait in a person, creativity or intelligence? And I would probably have to say creativity, because this question relates a lot to the post that I did about the brain versus the heart and which one you would rather have and stuff like that. And I would have to say, being a human and having emotions and feelings like that, I definitely believe that creativity is an important trait over intelligence, because while intelligence is very productive and it basically is the reason why we advance and things like that, I feel like creativity is what brings the meaning in life and kind of, I guess in a sense, makes life worth living, because it's just, I guess, a better way to live. I would rather live with somebody who's fun to be with, to just make life interesting, than somebody who knows everything about there is to know, I feel like information's great and all, but unless you can like kind of present it in a creative way, then it's almost meaningless. So that's my opinion on that. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of an answer, words of wisdom. And then here's the next question. It's asked by Carly, and she asks, why isn't civilization synonymous with good? And I feel like since civilization kind of has a positive context to it, civilization means that we're all advanced, we're not in the savage age, we're not just babbling idiots. We all are kind of have somewhat intelligence, some more than others, but I mean, for the most part, we're all pretty much civilized and moral beings, and that's, for some reason, it doesn't correlate into good, as Carly points out. And I think the reason is this, because that as people become more advanced, there's more opportunities for exploitation, and in the sense where like people with power can get drunk off of it or just want more and more power. It's just kind of like the more power you have, the more you want it, and things like that. And there's just, like with all politicians and things like that, there's always the question of corruption, and it's just that, like Peter Parker's uncle saying was, with great power comes great responsibility, and with civilization, there is a lot of power involved, because we're becoming more and more advanced as a society, and it's just not everybody is the right fit to hold the power. They don't necessarily use it for the power of good, and that's why I believe that civilization isn't always synonymous with good. So hopefully that answered your question, Carly. And then on to the final question by Lola. She asks, what is wrong with not knowing right from wrong? And I guess in a sense this kind of relates to the basically what is described as normal, because society kind of determines what is essentially right from wrong. Like you wouldn't learn morals if it weren't for your parents telling you that it's bad to lie or cheat and things like that. So essentially, if people aren't brought up in a certain environment or structured society that kind of disciplines and punishes those who do bad things and rewards and compensates those who do great things, you wouldn't essentially get a sense of what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. And it's kind of a case-by-case basis, because everybody has their own moral code of ethics and things like that. So if you don't have the same ethics, or they don't correlate with somebody that you're with, and there could be arguments and things like that. So like the example that she says is, if somebody was never taught right or wrong, how would they act? And like a pharaoh child who didn't like live up in a civilized society, you know, how would what you can't I feel like you can't necessarily hold them accountable for not following your own views because they haven't led life the way that you have led it, and they don't live by the same standards, and they don't judge situations, and they don't have the same perspective. So you can't necessarily force your punishments for those actions upon them, you know. So essentially, the only way to like the way the laws are set up, you kind of are raised to know like what's illegal, what shouldn't a normal human being do, and things like that. So you're kind of brought up in a sense where like, oh, since you obviously know that you shouldn't go out murdering people, if you do commit a murder, you're obviously going to be punished for it, you know. So but in a situation where there's a feral child, I don't know how it would work with like if they murdered somebody, but say they like stole food or something like that. I feel like the punishment should be a lot less harsher, you know. And it just, like I said before, it's a case-by-case basis, so you got to go by what you see. So I guess that's it for this episode of the podcast. I'm going to keep trying to have co-hosts and things like that, but currently I'm recording this at like 1 in the morning, so not everybody's available to do episodes and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll just keep pumping out new content whenever I can. Hopefully it'll be every day, but we'll see how long that lasts, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode and you would like to be a part of it in the future, or you just like want to watch it in the future. That's fine with me too. So check it out. Check out the Human Power Podcast website, because big things happening on there. Nitin Ragu's first Tech Talks podcast is up there, and just a lot of new content and stuff on the way. So look forward to it, guys. I will see you guys later.